The phrase world-changing is often bandied around in startups. This next company truly embodies that sentiment. In its potential to transform the market for land regeneration, in its potential to transform the planet we live on, and in its potential to create enormous financial returns. It's my great pleasure to introduce Susan Graham, CEO and co-founder of Biocarbon Engineering.
So say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo, say Geronimo.
There are three people who've had a critical role in shaping the history of climate to date. Charles David Keeling. Now, Keeling was the first person to measure carbon in the atmosphere. It's because of Keeling that we have those characteristic sawtooth graphs of carbon going up and up and up. James Shand. Now, this man invented the chainsaw. It was revolutionary for the construction industry, but also enabling for the removal of the world's forests at an industrial scale. This is the moment that we became more effective at chopping down trees than replanting them. And Wangari Maathai. Here is someone who has achieved a superhuman effort. Maathai started a movement that planted 50 million trees. Now, Keeling showed us the problem, and Shand unwittingly enabled us to make that problem worse at a faster rate. And Maathai, while being heroic, showed us our frightening inability to deal with the scale of the problem. Now, the essence of the problem is that we have a net loss of 6 billion trees each year, and that is despite the world spending billions of dollars planting billions of trees. We are still going backwards by 6 billion a year. How are we going to reach the UN target of planting 300 billion trees by 2030? Our current methods are just not enough. They are slow, dangerous, and they're not able to operate at scale. And remember, to plant a tree, it's not just that moment of planting a tree. There's planning, coordination of contractors, land preparation, monitoring, and maintenance. It's a complex process. We need a solution that is fast, simple, and able to operate at scale. Our solution is to plant trees using drones. A team of 2 operators controls a swarm of drones, all automated, each planting 25,000 pods a day. We are planting 150 times faster and 10 times cheaper than traditional hand planting methods. Now, we started with a vision of hardware enabling global scale restoration, planting billions of trees a year. But what we found is that we also capture a huge amount of highly detailed landscape data on everything from soil and species to carbon sequestration and survival rates. Now, to harness the power of this data, we developed Sky. It's an AI platform for environmental management. Now, Sky is helping our customers with stakeholder engagement and to make better decisions. So what we have is Sky providing actionable data and our hardware providing the means to action it in an intelligent and landscape-specific way. And this has big benefits for our mining and oil and gas customers. So mines have a regulatory requirement to restore the land and replant trees on tens of thousands of hectares each year. And the oil and gas industry needs to offset their carbon emissions. To give you a sense of scale, the oil and gas industry emitted over 10 billion tonnes of carbon dioxide last year. And the current price of carbon is over $15 a tonne. We are going after a multi-billion-dollar market. Now, in each of these cases, the restoration work is happening in places where people find it hard. We operate in challenging and remote environments, in everywhere from mangroves in Myanmar to mine site rehab just up the road in the Hunter. Now, we started commercial operations right here in Australia at Yancoal's Moolarben mine in Mudgee in 2017. Since then, we've been expanding our offerings and capabilities to mines across the Hunter and to a large-scale carbon sequestration project in Myanmar. We've also signed a long-term national partnership with Greening Australia. Now, do we have traction? We've completed 10 operations to date, and we're going from 1 to 5 mines this season, as well as our large-scale carbon project in Myanmar. We have MOUs signed for $30 million, and our projections of revenue are $25 million by 2020 and $100 million by 2022. Now, we can only achieve all of this with our great network of partners across the world, across tech, finance, and restoration. We've also pulled together a stellar team with skills and experience across plant science, robotics, machine learning, and military logistics. To this, we've added some great advisors and mentors, with a founding team member from Google X and a member of the President's Circle of the National Academy of Sciences. So now that we live in a world where drones plant trees, we've leveled the playing fields. We're no longer fighting unfair odds against the chainsaw. And if we plant 500 billion trees, we will offset all of human carbon emissions. We will literally change the trajectory of climate on Earth. My name is Susan Graham, and we are Biocarbon Engineering, and we invite you all to join us as we change the world, 1 billion trees at a time.
So say Geronimo.